Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video, we're going to break down exactly which characters you can meet over at Universal Orlando. And if you've been watching our channel, you already know that I have said a couple times now that one of the biggest, hurdles that many families have when visiting Universal with young kids is that at this point in time, there are not that many rides for young kids to go on. Now, Universal is changing that. They have a ton of new rides and little, themed lands coming for the kids. But in the meantime, we're going to get you up to speed on all of the character meet and greets that you can enjoy with your family, specifically if you do have young kids. So if you are in the process of planning a Universal Orlando trip, just be sure to stick around until the end of this video. As always, I am very excited, so let's go get started. Thank you again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, we are about to break down all of the characters that you can meet on your next Universal Orlando vacation. And we are going to break it down by Islands of Adventure Park, Universal Studios Florida Park. We're essentially just going to get you as prepared as possible, and we're even going to throw in some character dining information. So let's jump right in and let's start with the basics. And the first most popular question we get is, how many Universal Orlando characters are there throughout the park? And guests will be delighted to find that there are over 65 different character meet and greets at both Islands of Adventure Park and Universal Studios Florida. And so as you can see, that you really will need a full game plan if you're trying to visit as many character meet and greets as possible. Okay, so we're going to break this down essentially by park, and we're going to start with the park that really has the most characters at this point in time, and that is going to be Universal Studios Florida. So what are the Universal Studios Florida characters as of this point in time? And we do have the DreamWorks Trolls, we have the Minions, we have the Simpsons, we have Krusty the Clown and Sideshow Bob, we have the Night Bus Conductor, we have Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, and Megatron from the Transformers movies, SpongeBob SquarePants, Patrick Star, Squidward, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Velma, Fred, and Daphne for all my older millennials out there, Doc Brown, Shrek, Donkey, and Fiona, Hashtag the Panda, Marilyn Monroe, Blue the Velocicoaster, Beetlejuice, Hello Kitty, Revenge of the Mummy characters, Dora, Boots, Diego, Penguins from Madagascar, Kung Fu Panda, Puss in Boots, and King Gillian. All right, so now we're going to break down essentially where you can meet each of these characters. And so starting with the DreamWorks characters, essentially you have the Trolls, Kung Fu Panda, the Penguins, Puss in Boots, and King Gillian. All right, so as of right now, and you guys aren't going to like my answer, but this is essentially what's in my notes. The DreamWorks characters can be found in random spots throughout the parks. This is going to change in the future, as Universal has announced that they do have a complete DreamWorks land coming to Universal Studios Florida. But right at this point in time, there are not permanent meeting spots where they are located. Jumping over to another very popular topic for characters, the Despicable Me character. And you can meet a Minion and have a dance party in the exit building of the Despicable Me Minion Mayhem ride, which is essentially the first ride right when you walk in to the park. Moving over to the Simpsons characters, and of course there are going to be a few areas where you can meet the Simpsons characters throughout Springfield, USA. Moving over to Harry Potter, and of course you're going to essentially want to walk over to Diagon Alley, but for this one you're going to be able to meet the Night Bus Conductor right outside of the entrance for Diagon Alley, and don't forget to check out the talking heads within the bus as well. When it comes to Transformers, over at Universal Studios Florida, of course, just like you would figure, essentially right outside of the Transformers ride, right to the right of it, you'll be able to meet some of your favorite Transformer characters such as Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, and Megatron. Up next, we have SpongeBob SquarePants. And essentially, there's going to be an entire SpongeBob SquarePants gift shop located right next to ET, and that is going to be where you can meet your favorite SpongeBob SquarePants characters. Moving over to Hollywood Boulevard, and essentially on Hollywood Boulevard is where you'll be able to find Scooby-Doo. Keep an eye out for that mystery machine. They do have a real-life mystery machine. You could also find Marilyn Monroe, Beetlejuice, Hello Kitty, Doc Brown, and even some more of the Simpson characters. So now we are going to jump over to Islands of Adventure Park, and essentially which characters are going to be at Islands of Adventure Park. And we do have Marvel characters, and if you're watching this video, we actually just released a video on essentially all of the Marvel stuff going on at Universal Orlando, because it does throw some guests for a loop that Universal does have a Marvel section in their park. go and watch that video. If you do have Marvel fans, it will get you as prepared as possible for your next trip. But we do have some Marvel characters, and we have the Wolverine, Cyclops, Spider-Man, Rogue, Captain America, Green Goblin, and Doctor Doom. Over in Jurassic World, we do have the Velociraptor Blue, and then we do have some other Madagascar characters such as Alex the Lion. We have Betty Boop, Popeye, and Olive Oyl. Again, we got a lot of stuff for older millennials if you grew up on the Cartoon Network, like the old school cartoons. And then over in Seuss Landing, we do have Dr. Seuss characters such as Thing 1, Thing 2, Cat in the Hat, Sam I Am, and then the Grinch. So breaking down essentially where you can meet all of these characters, the Marvel characters are going to be located in Marvel Superhero Island, which is when you walk into Islands of Adventure Park, you're essentially going to go left. The Velociraptor Blue, and this is by far one of my favorite character meet and greets in all of Universal Orlando. I think it's really, really kind of cool what they have done with this meet and greet. This is going to be located in the Jurassic Park section of Islands of Adventure Park. Those Madagascar characters that we discussed can be located in the Lost Continent section of Islands of Adventure Park. When you're looking for Betty Boop, Popeye, Olive Oyl, be sure to go check out the Toon Lagoon of Universal's Islands of Adventure. And then, of course, the Dr. Seuss characters are going to be located in the Seuss Landing section of the park. So specifically when it comes to the Grinch, right? One of the coolest character meet and greets is the Grinch, but you do have to go during the essentially Christmas time of year at Universal Orlando. And if you've seen pictures, you could see that the Grinch during non-Christmas times of year, it's cool character meet and greet, but the Grinch during Universal Orlando Christmas, and Grinchmas is what they really call it, is like from the movie. And I'm talking about the Jim Carrey movie with all the makeup. It's really, really cool. And he is quick-witted, and just like you would picture the Grinch in the movie, that's kind of what you get in real life. So keep an eye out for that. And if you are planning a Universal Orlando trip around the holidays, that's just something really, really cool that you can enjoy and take advantage of. All right, so some of the character dining experiences at this point in time, there are two that are officially back, and we do have the Marvel character dining at Cafe 4 in Islands of Adventure Park. And now, again, kind of jumping back to Grinchmas, we do have Grinch and Friends character breakfast. And this is seasonal, just like it sounds. This is specifically for Grinchmas, which is really during Christmas at Universal Orlando. The one thing I will say about Grinchmas or the Grinch character breakfast is, if you do plan to do this, be aware of when these reservations come out and make sure that you book as quickly as you can, because they do sell out. And it is by far one of the most popular questions we get during the holidays. Families are trying to figure out how do they get, a reservation for this. Once it sells out, it sells out. Okay, so another very, very important question that we do get are, what are some of the girl characters at Universal Orlando? And there are plenty of girl characters for you and your family to enjoy. Some of the ones that come to mind are going to be Princess Poppy, Velma, Daphne, Storm, Rogue, Princess Fiona, Marge Simpson, Lisa Simpson, Marilyn Monroe, Hello Kitty, and then, of course, Betty Boop. And so some of the tips and tricks that we would say is, I would say not for all of them, but for a lot of the character meet and greets, they can be kind of random, and specifically from a timing standpoint, right? It is similar to over at Disney, where the characters will come out, for a set amount of time, then go back backstage. So you do have to be mindful of that. And we would say, when you do have an opportunity, if you see a short line, and the thing about Universal over Disney is typically the lines are shorter, make sure that you kind of hop on, take advantage of that, and kind of you'll get as many of these photo ops out of the way. Also, we would say as early in the morning or as late at night as possible to avoid, any longer lines. But typically, for the most part, outside of the Velociraptor Blue, most of the wait times are relatively short, 10 to 15 minutes. The other really cool thing that you can take a look at is a lot of the photo opportunities or the character meet and greets are included with the Universal My Photo Pass. So if you know that you are going for a lot of these characters and you're going to take full advantage of that, go and look at that, because the Universal Photo Pass, for one day, I believe at this point in time, off the top of my head, I think it's like $95. But if you do it for multiple days, I think it goes from like $95 up to like $125. So as you could see, if you're going to be there for 3 days and you could do a lot of character meet and greets, it does pay, in my opinion, if you want those professional photos, to get the photo pass, as opposed to buying them one photo at a time. It just makes the most sense.
Sorry, Mike, we interrupt this video to bring you an important update. One of the great things about Universal Orlando is that they're always adding new characters. Fans will be delighted to know that Shrek and Fiona are back. For now, Shrek and Fiona can be found meeting near the SpongeBob SquarePants store as construction is underway for a new DreamWorks land in that same area. With this new DreamWorks land, we can expect the return of the very popular character, Donkey. We also have recently seen Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse around Universal Studios Florida, typically in the Hollywood section of the park. Last but not least, this past summer, Universal Orlando debuted brand new characters that your kids will be very excited to meet. With the opening of Minion Land is the Illumination Theater, located right in the front of the park. Here you can meet your favorite characters from Sing, like Johnny, also your favorite Despicable Me characters, like Minions, Vector, Gru, Margot, Edith. A new character will come out to meet every 18 minutes. Back to you, Mike.
But that is really it, everyone. That is the complete guide to the characters over at Universal Orlando Resort. I really hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that you have a couple characters that you added to your hit list after watching this video. And if you are in the process of planning a Universal Orlando vacation and you do need a little additional help, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. But I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all again so much for checking out this video. And until next time, I will talk to you soon.